Why can't you start exercising? They hid it from you. The problem isn't these things. Your willpower, your time, your motivation. The problem is hidden deep inside. You know where you are, despite everything. Come with me. You open the video. That alone said something to you. You want to start exercising. You've wanted to for a long time. Maybe for months, for years. Every Monday morning, the same thought. I'm starting this week. And every Sunday night, the same feeling. You didn't start. Notice it. People who can't start exercising aren't lazy. They are usually those who overthink. Those who plan too much, research too much. A coincidence? No. Here's the question. Don't answer. Just listen. Do you really want to start? Or do you just want to start? These paths don't go through the same place. But everything is hidden in this distinction of no. Most people see exercise as a result. I'll be happy if I get fit. I'll gain confidence if I lose weight. Everything will be better if I'm healthy. Sounds logical, right? Stop. If exercise is just a tool, why is the tool so heavy? The problem is not exercise. The problem is the way you think about exercise. You might not understand this now, but later in this video you will notice something, and that moment will be uncomfortable. Most people wait for the right moment to start exercising. You know this because you are also waiting for something to end or begin, for a week to be calmer, more ready, and this waiting never ends. Notice it. You have energy when planning, researching, telling others. Only when doing it you don't. This is not a coincidence. Let me say this. The brain does not like failure, but what it dislikes most is this, the risk of failure. There is something about exercise. There is a starting point, and that starting point is a testing point. The question, I wonder if I can do it? Right here, something happens. Something most people don't notice. Procrastinating on exercise is not a weakness. In fact, it's an extremely smart decision for your brain. You'll see how I explain this in a moment. How many times have you started exercising? Morning runs, going to the gym, buying equipment for home, YouTube workout videos. And how many times did you quit? You know the number. What did you tell yourself after each quit? Next time, I'll be more ready. So when were you ready? Don't answer. Just feel it, because readiness sometimes is a feeling that never comes. And you already feel this, but you don't accept it. Why? Come with me. Imagine. It's 8 in the evening. Another day is over. You're tired, but not that kind of tired. Mental fatigue. You look at your phone. There's a nutrition video. There's a fitness account. There are 30-day transformation photos. And something stirs inside you. What if I start tomorrow? And that, what if I start tomorrow, feels so real in that moment, as if you really will start. Morning comes, and that feeling is gone. In its place is just the first task of the day. Have you experienced this scene? Many times. What I said a moment ago, the way you think about exercise, that feeling at 8 in the evening is real. At 5 in the morning, it's gone. Because that feeling is not the desire to exercise. That feeling is the desire to have exercised. There's a difference, a big difference. Exercising requires effort. Having exercised is just a good feeling. The brain chooses good feelings. Always subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself. You understand why you have energy when planning, why you have energy when researching, because these things make you imagine the result. And imagining requires no effort, but your imagination has a problem. When the imagination turns into reality, that good feeling goes away. And what remains? Sweat on your shirt, being out of breath, sore muscles. And the brain mistakes this change for danger. Question, and don't answer this immediately either. When you quit exercise, what do you feel? Relief or guilt? Because that feeling of guilt doesn't make you bad, but it keeps you trapped in a cycle. And that cycle is complicated. Listen, most people who say, I don't have time as a reason for not exercising, have a phone in their hand for 2 hours a day. This is not an accusation. This is a mirror. Most people who say, I'm not ready, wait to be ready for everything. For that job, for that relationship, for that conversation. Always waiting to be ready. And always something is missing. Most people who say, I can't get motivated, misunderstand how motivation works. Motivation is not the start. Motivation is the result. First movement, then feeling. But saying this is easy. Doing it is another thing. And right here, something kicks in. 3 things, actually. What are they? Come with me. Reason 1. The brain postpones what it is protecting. Imagine. When you start exercising, what are you testing? Not just your body. You're testing your willpower. You're testing your determination. You're testing your belief that I can do it. And the brain knows this. Before you start, that test doesn't exist. You haven't failed yet. You are still someone who will start. And that identity is much safer. Visualize the scene. You sign up for the gym. You go the first week. The second week, there's an excuse. The third week, there's shame. And that shame makes not going even harder. The brain anticipates this even before you start. And by postponing, protects you from that shame. You don't even realize you're doing it, but you are. Reason 2. The all or nothing trap.
Immagine.
I will go 5 days a week. I will wake up at 6 a.m. I will cut out sugar completely. I will lose X kilos in 3 months. And this plan collapses after 1 week. You couldn't go on Tuesday. Maybe you could have gone on Wednesday, but Wednesday didn't happen. And now the plan is ruined. A ruined plan means a disregarded plan. You need to start from zero, but zero never comes. Visualize the scene. Monday arrives. New beginning. Sunday evening arrives. I've already messed up this week, next week, and this cycle goes on for months. You choose all or nothing, and nothing wins every time. Maybe 1 day a week would have been enough, but saying 5 instead of 1 feels better. And when 5 doesn't happen, it becomes 0. Reason 3, exercise is outside your identity. Ask yourself this: am I an athletic person? What answer came from within? For most people, the answer is
No.
or I want to be, but I'm not. And this distinction changes everything, because behaviors that don't match your identity are very hard to sustain. Visualize the scene. A healthy person doesn't think about exercise when they wake up. They just get dressed and go out because they are someone who exercises. When you wake up, what do you think? I should go today. Should go and I am going are not the same sentence. One is living an identity. One is trying to convince an identity. And which one you are, you already know. This isn't just about exercise. You do the same thing in other areas. In relationships, I should be a better partner. You think about it every night, but that difficult conversation, you keep postponing it because the conversation is a test, and the test carries the risk of failure. At work, I need to advance my career. You know this, but you leave that step for the subscribe to my channel and find more content for yourself. Right moment. The right moment doesn't come when you're busy. When you're free, you lack the desire. With your family, I should spend more time with my mom. You think about it, especially when you haven't seen her. But when you see her, daily life takes over, and that intention of more time disappears. In your decisions, when you need to make a decision, you analyze everything. You consider every possibility. And in the end, you choose not to decide, because not deciding is a kind of decision, and the safest one. In your habits, I will look at my phone less. I will sleep earlier. I will eat healthier. You've made this list before, more than once, and the list always starts with the same things. Let's solve it together. Notice it. When you want to change something in your life, you usually start by thinking about it. Then you plan, research, prepare. And all these stages feel great because they all simulate change without real change. And the brain rewards the simulation as if it were real. Why does this matter? Because you feel exhausted after planning. You feel satisfied after researching. You think and feel like you've started. And then to take the real step, there's no energy left because that energy has already been spent on a change that never happened. Listen, there are people who know this. And even though they know, they can't change because knowing is not enough. You've read this. Motivation comes after movement. You've heard this. Start with small steps. You've said this to yourself. I'm definitely starting tomorrow. And none of it worked. Why? Because all this information comes from outside. But the problem is inside you. And what is in there? There is a feeling before you start. A small, quiet, almost imperceptible feeling. But a feeling that is there every time. What if it doesn't work out? These 3 words, they are there before every decision you make. Before every beginning. Right after every thought of, this time I'll do it. These 3 words come, and you usually listen to them. Let me say this. The answer to the question I wanted to ask when you started watching this video. Do you really want to start? Yes, you do. But wanting to start and accepting what starting requires are not the same thing. Starting requires this. Letting go of a story about yourself. The story of someone who will start. That story is comfortable because it still contains hope. It still contains someday. It still contains the possibility of being ready. But when you start, that story ends and reality begins. Reality is sometimes beautiful, sometimes difficult, sometimes both at once. And the brain doesn't like this uncertainty. Do you understand now? You can't start exercising because starting feels like losing something, like losing being someone who will start. And letting go of that identity is an invisible grief. No one told you this, but you already knew it inside. What are you feeling? Ask yourself this. Guilt? Understanding? Like things are falling into place? Because these feelings are not the beginning of change. These feelings are noticing what was already there. And maybe noticing is starting. Maybe. The question is, finally, if there were no possibility of failure, what would you do tomorrow? You know the answer. And how far away is that answer right now? But did you also notice throughout this conversation, we never talked about self-doubt, that quiet voice. Maybe I'm just one of those people. Maybe this isn't for me. Where does that voice come from? And why? Are you the only one who hears it? Come with me. In the next video, I talked about you. Subscribe to my channel. channel and find more content for yourself.